And live. What's going on? Happy Hump Day. Wednesday, December 7th. Much to talk about. And I just went fucking completely blank in my head. What's going on? Welcome back. I know, I said that I was going to do this last Friday, and then I didn't. I don't know what happened, actually, to be honest. I forget what it was. I know that there was, I had said I was going to do it, and then I didn't do it. I'm going to start the night by talking about Violent Night. Holy shit. So I didn't even know this movie was coming out. I think that it was back in, there's Jason Almy. Wow. 60 seconds in, Jason Almy commenting, "What's up, buddy? Are you ever going to send me the audio from the cigar bar? Am I going to get that ever? Or are we just going to leave that lost in a bin somewhere and no one ever gets to enjoy it?" I got to get that audio, man, because technically I'm missing a week. Technically. In the most technical of terms, I'm missing a week, but it's only because I haven't gotten that audio. So, and also, let's do another one, but let's do no, why would I rip it from YouTube? Why would you think that you always send me the audio file when we do an episode together? You literally have every single time sent me an audio file. I mean, I can just rip it from YouTube. I got to invest. I was thinking, it's funny that he would jump on the comments because I think that I want to invest in some in a better microphone, like the one that he had us use at the cigar bar. I think I want something like that. Like a lapel mic. Like I gotta find a good USB or Bluetooth, maybe, kind of. I know that this computer does Bluetooth because I Bluetooth my headphones to this computer. I've Bluetoothed Xbox controllers to this computer, so I know this computer does Bluetooth just fine. I got to look into whether or not I could do a Bluetooth microphone, because that would be fucking sick, actually. I am 30 minutes, well, I guess to be fair, I'm 25 minutes late on starting this tonight because I could have gone live, could have gone live at 9:05, but instead I spent 25 minutes fucking around with my phone, trying to use my phone as a webcam. And I can, and I have. I haven't actually used it, officially, sort of. I think it was, after maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, me and Tom did an episode of our show. And afterwards, I was fucking around with my phone and my laptop, trying to figure out, could I use my phone, my Samsung Note 10, could I use that as a webcam instead of this camera that I currently use? And because this camera it's a Logitech webcam and it works fine. But I wanted to know if I could use my phone because my phone has a better camera on it than this Logitech thing, right? So I fucked around with it. I found out that I can use it as a webcam. You have to download some software to your phone and then download some software to your computer. You got to fuck around with a few different settings, and you got to, do a debugging thing on your phone and whatever. Eventually you get there. And that night when I fucked around with it, I was able to get into StreamYard and I was able to use my phone as the camera for this show. And I was psyched about it. I was like, can't wait to do another show. I'm going to use my phone as my camera. And I spent 25 minutes tonight trying to do it, and I couldn't get back to that place where I was last time. So, but either way, I am going to get that figured it out. I am going to get that figured out. And, but I also was thinking how great it would be to just have a little lapel mic, a little Bluetooth lapel mic, like Jason had us use when we did his show a few weeks ago. As long as that mic sounds good, then that would be pretty fucking awesome. And as long as it's not crazy expensive. For me, that type of thing shouldn't cost more than $75. I think that's about the going rate that I would be willing to spend on a piece of equipment like that, is maybe $75. No more than $100. $150 for a little mic like that? No. I'll just keep my microphone that I'm using and I will be just fine. But anyways, like I was saying, I've talked about it a few times since in the last like 5 or 6 weeks. Me and Ro, oh my God, he said he spent $250 on his. Was that on both or was that on just one? I'm guessing it's probably on just one. $250 on that little tiny microphone. Yeah, that's a little too much. That might be a little too much for me. If it's $250 for one, I think that I'm good. I think that I'll continue using my $70 Blue Yeti, which is working out just fucking fine. I mean, hell, at $250, you may as well spend the extra $150 and get the, get the Joe Rogan, quote unquote, the Joe Rogan microphones. Those ones that are like Direct Path or Omni, whatever they're fucking called. 2 transmitters and the receiver. Wow, that seems like a lot. That seems when I say that seems like a lot, I don't mean it sounds like a lot of money. Like that seems like a reasonable amount of money for 2 transmitters and the receiver. It just seems like a lot that you would need. Like I bet that I can figure this out for a much lesser cost. Maybe not as high quality, but then again, I'm not making Jason Almy Patreon money. I'm happy with my $3 a month that I get from Strikeforce Energy, and like a dozen other sponsors who have never paid me at all, which is crazy. Because I know you've made money off of me before. Anyways, me and Ro. 5 or 6 weeks ago now. Must have been about 6 weeks ago now. I'm thinking maybe like mid-October. About mid-October, she sends me a text message and she's like, "Hey, my friend just told me about this Regal Unlimited Pass, and it sounds really cool. You sign up and it's a subscription thing, kind of like Netflix type of deal. You sign up, but you can go and see as many movies as you want all month long. I think we should sign up for it." This is what she says to me. I think we should sign up for it. And so I was like, yeah, sure. Let's do that. So she had already signed up for it. She signed up for it right away. And then like maybe a week later, I signed up for it. And honestly, before we signed up for it, I was like, I guess it's, it usually costs us. We go to Regal Cinemas. We signed up for the Regal Cinemas Unlimited Pass. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, we go there. I think it's like, so the unlimited is like $21 or $22 a month. I can't remember if it's 21 even or $21.99. But either way, yeah, Jason of all people. Jason, I think you should stick around. You need to stick around for the next 20 to 30 minutes because I'm about to blow your fucking mind. As I continue on this path of talking about this unlimited pass. So we, in fact, I got to minimize the screen so that I don't get distracted by Jason. Jason Voorhees, not Jason Almy. So we get this unlimited pass, and first movie we go see is Black Adam, and it cost us $1. And I know that it's a little strange to say it's an unlimited pass, but it costs us $1. It's 50 cents per person if you go see movies in like RPX. I think is where the 50 cents comes in. If we went to go see like a regular 2D movie, then that's free. Or not free, but it's included with our little pass thing. And then we buy popcorn and beer and enjoy our fucking movie. We have seen in the last 5 weeks, we've been to the movies, I think 5 times. I think we skipped 1 week, but we saw 2 movies in a different week. Like we went to go see, so far in the last 5 weeks, we have seen, I'm going to keep one of these movies a secret just for Jason, just to entice you to stick around a little longer. We went to go see Black Adam. We've seen Wakanda Forever. Well, fuck, what else did we fucking see? We saw a movie called The Menu. I talked about that last week or a couple weeks ago. And then last night we saw Violent Night. and then there was another movie that we went to go see over the weekend. But the if you have a Regal Cinema, I mean, we're fortunate enough to have a Regal Cinema like half a mile from our house, so it works out perfect for us. But we went to go see. I'm going to talk about Violent Night, and then I'm going to hold on to Jason. I'm going to hold Jason hostage just a little longer on this other movie. So we go see Violent Night last night, and I didn't even know this movie was. I didn't know dick about this movie. I didn't know anything about it, and I probably still wouldn't if not for Tom Bruno. Me and Tom do a show. I've talked about it a few times called New England Natives. And it must have been about a month and a half, 2 months ago. We are doing our show one night, and he says, "Oh, have you seen this trailer for Violent Night?" And I was like, I hadn't heard about it at all, and I'm thinking Christmas movie. I don't give a fuck. And he's like, "Oh, you got to watch the trailer for it." And I can't remember if we watched the trailer on the show or if I watched it afterwards. Either way, I sent the trailer to Ro, and she was like, "Oh, we have to go see that." And either way, that night I watched the trailer and I was like, I have got to see this movie. It is Santa Claus as a fucking badass. Like, there was a movie a long time ago, like back in the 80s, I think. I can't remember if it was called Krampus or if it was just about Krampus, but either way, it was an evil Santa running around like New York City killing people or something like that. And this movie Violent Night is kind of similar, quasi similar. It's fucking Santa Claus as a badass. Like, Santa Claus is a fucking Norse god who delivers presents at night and stumbles into a home invasion and just goes off killing people. And I was thinking, like, even in the theater last night, I was thinking, but also today I was thinking about, like, me and Ro, like, going to the movies with Ro is a lot of fun because she gets loud, she gets really animated, and she does a lot of laughing. And we have been to a lot of, like, whether they're funny movies or quasi-funny movies or there's a funny part or something like that. Like, last night we're seeing this movie Violent Night, and I mean, people are getting killed all over the place. And everyone else in the theater is probably, like, maybe not mortified by what they're seeing, but a little taken aback. And I have to assume that those people thought that me and Ro were high, because she's laughing at so much stuff during the movie, and her laughing is only making me laugh also. So the whole movie, like, someone gets shot in the fucking face and we're laughing at it. But I don't want to give away too much about the movie, so I'm not going to. But I will say it's an absolute must-see. Someone at work today, I told them about it, and they were like, "Oh, I heard it's like Die Hard, the original Die Hard. I heard it's like Die Hard meets a Christmas movie or Santa movie, something like that." And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess I can kind of see where you might come to that conclusion. For me, I think it definitely leans a lot more Christmas. It leans a lot more Christmas. But it was so good. It was just such a good movie. Like, prior to last night, if you were to tell me, like, hey, I want to watch Christmas movies today, like, what's on your list of Christmas movies that you really want to watch? Elf, Fred Claus, the Santa Claus. Those are going to be some of my top, like, Christmas movies that I want to watch. I even want to watch this Santa Claus's movie, this new one that's coming out. So, yeah. But Violent Night shot straight to the top. Absolute number one must watch during the Christmas season. Every year from here on out, from here until forever, that is the movie and you know what? That's a Christmas movie. That is a Christmas movie, okay? Die Hard, not a Christmas movie. The fucking movie was released in July, okay? It's not a Christmas movie. Just because it takes place. No one else took place during the Christmas season, and the end of the movie happens on Christmas Eve/day. Iron Man 3. Nobody looks at Iron Man 3 as a Christmas movie. That's because it's fucking not a Christmas movie, okay? Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. I don't care what, just because it took place on Christmas Eve doesn't make it a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie. This is a battle that I've been fighting for the last 10 years, and I'm going to continue to fight for the rest of my life, all right? I know that there's a lot of people that disagree with me about it, but it's fact, okay? You can't fight it. Jason threw in some of his, Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa. Those are the top two for him. I feel like I saw Bad Santa. If I didn't see it in its entirety, I at least saw most of it. But it was good either way. Billy Bob Thornton was great. Christmas Vacation, I saw. I don't need to see it again over and over. I don't it's not a staple for me. All right, Jason, I am ready to blow your mind. One of the good things that came out of COVID, there were quite a few. COVID, that entire period of like 2020 and 2021 was a real fucking shit show when it came to COVID. Nobody enjoyed it. I shouldn't say nobody enjoyed it, but nobody had a lot of fun. Places being closed, the mask wearing, and you still see people wearing masks, and every time that I see them, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are we still doing this? Lot of things, lot of stupid came out of COVID. I even saw tonight on the news, COVID pandemic. Or coronavirus pandemic. I saw it and I was like, we're still talking about this? Jesus Christ, it's like a bad TV show that just won't fucking end. All right, we're in like season 19. Like, come on, just let it die. It's very similar to the war on Ukraine. All right, at this point, we're all just like, can we get over it and just move on with our lives? Nobody cares anymore. But so one of the good things, one of the few good things that came out of COVID was movies coming back to the theater that were released in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Movies that everyone loved a long time ago coming back to the actual movie theater. Because pre-COVID, you never saw that. Pre-COVID, Hollywood was pushing out so much stuff that there was just constant movies in the theater. I mean, I worked at a movie theater in 2001, 2002. And I mean, movies would be, a movie would come to the theater. It would, and this is how it would rotate through, right? It would come to the theater and it would go to the biggest theater in the theater. So like if a theater held 200 people, but another theater held 50 and another theater held like 75, and a couple different size theaters. If a movie came out based on what it would, like X-Men went to the biggest theater. And then maybe in 2 weeks, it went down to like the 150 size theater. And then in a couple more weeks, it went down. So it goes down the line in the theater size, right? And a movie like X-Men might be there for 5 or 6 weeks. Whereas like a movie like, I don't know, what's a shit movie? What's a really bad movie? I Still Know What You Did last summer. That might release immediately to the 50 size theater, and it might be there for 2 weeks before it's done in theaters. And what made it even worse was it was done in theater. Well, assume there's people that actually want to see that piece of garbage. It's done in theaters, but you're still going to have to wait 8 or 9 months before it releases on DVD. We're talking the year 2001, 2002. We don't have streaming or digital services. You're going to have to wait the 8 or 9 months before that movie comes out on DVD, and you can go to Circuit City and buy it for $19.99 or $29.99, whatever. I feel like they were closer to $19.99. That's what a DVD cost back then. I had a friend that I worked with at Circuit City who bought every single DVD. Every time it came out, every DVD. It didn't matter. So usually they released in twos, like movie, back then, Movies used to release in theaters in a set of two. There'd be like maybe not theaters. Maybe it was DVDs. I'm thinking DVDs. I'm sorry. They would release in twos. They would, like whatever the big movie was one week and the big movie was the next week, they might both come out on DVD the same day on a Tuesday, 8 or 9 months later. And I had a friend, this guy Chad, every Tuesday, even though he wasn't fucking working, he would come to Circuit City, and we didn't get a discount on DVDs and CDs. He didn't get a discount. He would come in on Tuesdays, and he would buy whatever the 2 DVDs were. He must, I don't know. I do wonder if he has a collection of just hundreds of DVDs. I sent him a friend request on Facebook like a month ago, and I still haven't heard back from him. But he looks like he's lost a ton of weight, which makes me worry about him. But anyways, one of the good things about COVID was movies coming back to theaters that people maybe forgot about, right? Like, I wouldn't be too surprised if in a year or two, if things continue the way they are right now, if in a year or two, Regal says, hey, this Friday night we're playing Die Hard. Because these movies these movies from our childhood, I'm 40 years old, so anyone in that 30 to 50, let's say 30 to 50 year old demographic, those movies from our childhood, from the late 70s to maybe early 90s, those movies are coming back to theater, giving us a chance to go back to the theater and see these movies. So on Sunday, we went and saw a movie that I had not seen. However, my darling girlfriend had seen many a time, because my mate is a lot like me, at least in my childhood, where she could watch a movie, or would watch a movie, multiple times over and over again. Over the weekend, on Sunday afternoon, we went to go see a movie called The Dark Crystal. This is a Jim Henson movie. The guy with all the fucking puppets. The guy responsible for the Muppets. Jim Henson did a movie called The Dark Crystal. And Rose saw that it was coming back to the theater for this, I think it was just this past weekend. She sees that it's coming back to the theater, so she gets us tickets to go see it. And I don't think I had ever seen it. But, afterwards she says, what did you think? And I had a handful of thoughts. One of those thoughts is storytelling blows my fucking mind. Like, the fact, if you haven't seen this fucking movie, I think you should. It's only like 90 minutes long. It might even be less than that. It's pretty short. It's somewhere in that 80 to 90 minute range. But if you haven't seen it, I think you should, and go into it with that mindset of like, man, storytelling is really impressive. The way that, someone like Jim Henson, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, the way these guys can, like, just think of shit. Like the movie, the sequel to Avatar is coming out here in a few weeks. Excuse me. Maybe less than a week. That's one of those movies, I saw the first one. This is a rare opportunity where I actually want to see the second one, but I don't think it needed a second movie. The first one was so good, I don't believe that the second one can live up to it. It's one of those things you have to admire about, I can't even pronounce. I can think of, but I can't pronounce his name. The guy that did Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder, Takashi fucking something is his name. He did Thor Love and Thunder, and there were a lot of, and I think that Thor Love and Thunder was a good movie. I do. It just wasn't as good as Ragnarok, because Ragnarok set the bar so goddamn high that Love and Thunder was definitely a better, out of the four Thor movies, it was the second best, but it wasn't better than Ragnarok. And so whatever his name is, said, I'm not going to be part of a fifth movie because I already set the bar at Ragnarok, and why would I keep trying to beat it? What if I try again and fail again at trying to beat it? If Love and Thunder had been the third movie, then I would be sitting here going, that was a great movie. That was the best one. And then Ragnarok came out. I'd be like, nope, we have a new best. That's a new best. So, but the storytelling, like this Dark Crystal movie, she kind of described it to me. And even before the movie started, there was like an interview with Jim Henson's daughter about him making the movie, and he had already been making like kids TV shows and kids movies before this movie came out. And then to see this movie, which is a little more on the dark side, you watch this movie and you just, for me anyways, I just think like, holy, like, how does someone come up with this stuff? Like, he just completely made up an entire story. I mean, maybe the only thing that would be parallel to our own planet, our own universe, is there were two characters in the movie who kind of, sort of looked like we do. Kind of. But for the most part, everything else about it. But I also watched this movie thinking like, wow, I see things in this movie, born in 1982, that I have seen in video games that I played in 2015. I've seen things in movies that I've seen in 2007. Like, there are things from this movie that I think other producers and directors saw that movie and said, oh, I can use something like that, in the future, in this thing that I want to build. It's really, 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 really impressive. And I don't know. I would love to think that I have like a creative mind to do things like that, but I just I can't. And there he is. I knew that it was coming. Jason said, "I love the Dark Crystal as a kid, so good." And I heard Love and Thunder sucked dick, but I do own the 4K Steelbook. Love and Thunder did not suck. It was better than the first two Thor movies. Arguably, Chris Hemsworth's best performance in a Marvel movie, but not as good as Ragnarok, and but that's because Ragnarok sets a high bar. It's not going to be easy for anyone to beat Ragnarok as a Thor specific film. It was that good. Yeah, I think you should watch it, Jason. I want you to watch it, and then I want you to report back on what you think. But Dark Crystal, man, yeah, it was I was impressed. I walked away impressed, and I walked away thinking, like, I hope that they keep doing this. I hope that that if it can only be one, I hope that it's this theater that is right down the street from us. I hope that they keep doing this re-release of movies that I loved. Like, I would love to see Twister in theater. God, what else? What else would I might not say no to Home Alone in theater. Independence Day. I would fucking love to go back and see Independence Day in theater. There's so many movies from that I went to go see, like Eraser, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eraser. I'd love to go see that in theater because I have memories of going to see these movies in theater. Maybe not Twister. No, I don't know. I think I did see Twister in theater. What was that John Travolta, Christian Slater movie? Broken Arrow? That I don't need to search it anymore. That's what it was. Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow I saw in theater. I would go see that again in theater. And guess what? With the Regal Unlimited Pass, who's not a sponsor of this show, but I keep fucking talking about them. I can go see that shit. I can, on nights when Ro is like, hey, I'm going to work until fucking 10 o'clock or 11. Like, there was a few weeks ago where she was like, I don't know if I'm coming home at all tonight. I might stay at work all night and then work all day tomorrow. I might work a 36-hour shift. She didn't end up doing that, but she didn't end up coming home until like 3 in the morning. On nights like that, I might be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go take in a movie by myself. You know what I was gonna say something, but I don't want to give away our secret. Um, so, holy shit, I'm already half an hour into this motherfucker. Either way, Dark Crystal was a really good movie, and I hope that this trend keeps going. Um, Going to see Violent Night the other night. Hold on, all right, just had to hit mute while I cracked that beer. Violent Night kind of got me in that Christmas spirit. The only thing that sucks is you watch a Christmas movie, every Christmas movie. I've seen like one Christmas movie in the last 10 years, 20 years that doesn't involve snow, okay? And that was because the movie took place in Africa, which looks like a beautiful country. I'd love to visit Africa at some point. I keep Googling, like, where would I go? Because I don't know. It's not like you search America. Like, you search America. Like, if you want to, like, you know the places off the top of your head. Like, I have to imagine that someone in London or someone in Japan or someone in Indonesia or wherever would be like, boy, I'd really like to go fucking see the Eiffel Tower in New York City. Or I want to go to Disney World. Or I want to go to, Chicago or whatever. Something like that. Like, it seems like America has, like, when it comes to tourism, and almost nothing else. Like, what are our great exports? Like tourism. We bring people. People want to come here for some reason. Because if you're visiting, there's almost no positive. Okay, you're not coming. You're not coming here and getting the right to bear arms, like, and to take back to your country. Like, you don't get to come here and adopt your right to free speech, other than maybe for a week. Maybe you know what? Maybe you're living in Iraq right now and you're wearing I don't know, what's it called, a burqa, whatever the women have to wear that is a full dress thing, and they can't, like, maybe they're like, I'm gonna go there. Like, you can't come here and be like, I'm gonna wear a jean skirt for a week and then I can take it back with me. Like, that doesn't work. That's not how it works. Okay, so really the only thing you can do is come here and spend money if you're from another country. So and then outside of that, what do we have for great exports as far as America goes? We have a handful of shitty car companies, and we have entertainment. Entertainment is our greatest export. That's why our celebrities are like gods to us. That's why we look at them with such, like, a high degree. That's why we look at the Dwayne Johnsons and the Kobe Bryants that's why we look at these people and the Tom Brady's that's why we look at them with such high regard, is because they are our only they're really the only export. Our sports and our entertainment are the only export that we have. And even our sports is mostly lacking. I mean, football, aka soccer, is the biggest sport in the world, okay? With American football as a close second. And not even a close second. It might be a close third, because I think that F1 is right up there with soccer. It might be bigger than American football. But the problem is that football, soccer, and F1 are, like, inclusive of every goddamn country. And then we have our American sports that are like, we only play in America. Like, we make a big deal out of the NFL going to London to play for a week. Like, who gives a shit? I mean, it's still American football at the end of the day. I don't even know what I'm saying. Hold on. That's my mate right there. Oh, she's on her way home. Hold on, show. I gotta just let my mate know that I got her message. So I was saying, I know that I was saying I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm looking forward to Christmas. With seeing Violent Night the other night, that's what I was saying. Was the only problem is that seeing that movie reminds me, like, you see all these Christmas movies and all of them include snow on the ground, like good amounts of snow. Like, very rarely do you see a Christmas movie that has, like, a dusting of snow. They always have snow on the ground, like good amounts of snow. and and we just don't seem to get as much snow anymore. I mean, I remember like Veterans Day 1997 getting like a foot of snow, and it just accumulated for the rest of the winter season. Excuse me. And here we are sitting on December 7th, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to go snowmobiling. Probably not until January, if I were to guess. I'm thinking it probably won't be until January. And it has nothing to do with time for me. If there was snow on the ground right now, if there was a foot of snow on the ground, then I would say, hey, the 15th, the trail's open, I'm going to go snowmobiling. I was asking around in a snowmobiling group the other day about like how far are you willing to go for one day? Like you're not going to be staying overnight. You're going snowmobiling for the day. What's the furthest you're willing to travel? Because I'm thinking to myself, like Rangeley, Maine it's consistently in the top 10 for snowmobiling destinations. And it has great trails. It has nothing to do with the fact that there's a house up there that I could stay at if I wanted to. Take that completely out of the equation and only focus on the fact that the trails are really the best. That's where I kind of want to go, is because the trails are the best. I mean, I snowmobiled last year when I broke my ankle. I was snowmobiling in Stamford, Maine, and the trails were not the same. The trails were like pretty small and not a lot of straightaways, not a lot of places to open it up. Versus Rangeley it's like they plow it like a super highway. So it's a 3-hour drive from here to there. So, let's hypothetically, let's say the trails are open right now. And let's say there's been, 3 or 4 good snowstorms that have put 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground. And let's say that I have tomorrow off and the money to do it. I would go to Rangeley. After asking in this group, I would want to, I'd wake up early tomorrow, like 4 a.m. I'd wake up, I'd leave the house, I'd grab a coffee, and I would be heading up to Rangeley. I'd get there around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, unload, ride until 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and load back up and ride back down here and be home around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. That's probably going to be most of my snowmobiling this year, except that I have no idea when that's going to happen because there just hasn't been any fucking snow. I just don't, things have changed so much as far as, and I don't, one of the problems is that everyone's like, oh, global warming, and it's not something that we can control as far as I'm concerned. This is not, global warming is a real thing. I do think that things are warmer than they've ever been. I think that that's evident by the fact that we have less snow than we have ever in my lifetime anyways. But I don't think that it's something we can control. Everyone likes to look at it like, oh, it's because we're using, these gas-powered cars and carbon emission and all this other shit. I don't think that matters. I don't think that plays a role at all. I think that the planet, just in general, much like our seasons, much like we go through seasons, and we can't control the season. It's not like we can look at summer and say, well, we want it to be cooler out right now. Like, it doesn't matter. We don't get to control it. And unfortunately, this is one of those things that we don't get to control. And I think that people would be freaking out a lot more if we were going through a global cooling, because during global warming effects, that's when you see populous cities. That's when you see population increases. People are in better spirits and whatever, generally in better spirits. And then during global cooling, you see cities closing down, and the population decreases because people aren't quite as eager to be multiplying as they are when it's nice out. Which is, I don't know. We'll see. I am curious. I'm not going to live long enough to see where this all goes. Like, I mean, I don't think I am anyways. I mean, I expect I'll live until, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. Maybe 110 or 120. if science, if science and everything continues the way that it does, I don't really see why that wouldn't happen. Because people are getting older too. Every year that goes by, there's constantly like, that oldest person ever thing is always being broken. What time is it? 10:07, 10:08. Hold on. I gotta ask a question real quick. I wrap this up. Can we True Blood and episode? Big smiley face. Big smiley face. It had me thinking, kind of bringing that up, had me thinking the other day. I don't know why it had me thinking this. Had me thinking about Mars and other planets in our own solar system. I was kind of thinking the other day about like, a handful of years ago, they found a planet. I want to say it was about 5 light years away, which is really fucking far. It's really far. It's like fucking, it's a lot of miles. It's really far away. 5 light years. But this planet was in what we call our Goldilocks zone. Like, I could go live on that planet. Like, one of the things that bothers me about Neil deGrasse Tyson is the way that he puts it, and maybe he doesn't really believe it this way, but the way that he puts it when he talks about it is that we couldn't live on any other planet because it's too hot or too cold. And my opinion is, well, we couldn't. Like, I couldn't go live on Mercury, for instance. I couldn't go live on Venus because it's too cold. I couldn't do that because that's me. But what is to say that there is not a species that could have adapted to that way of life? Hold on, no, stop me. I couldn't go do that, but what is to say that there isn't some species that was able to was able to evolve their way through that? And that's how they live is on a planet like that. But about, a handful of years ago, they found a planet 5 light years away that I could go live on. If you could transport me 5 light years to this other planet, I could go live on that. I was thinking the other day about Mars and other planets in our own solar system. Like, let's say that we knew, let's say that somehow we knew there was actually life on that. Life similar to us, living on that planet. They have cities and vehicles and ships, and, they're walking around. They get their own day-to-day bullshit. Do you really think that in 2022, going on 2023, we wouldn't have tried to visit that planet by now? Like, that's what I wonder. We haven't been there as it stands because as far as, the scientific community seems to be, there's nothing really to learn there. But if there was actually a life form there that we could learn from, that we could speak to back and forth, have a conversation with, I do wonder, like, would we had to have, right? We had to have, like, in an alternate dimension, maybe, let's say, where there is that life on that other planet. Okay, I got to wrap this up because honestly, I want to watch True Blood. And I've gone on long enough. I've talked enough. It's 43 minutes. All right, you got your show. I did my diligence for the week. My girlfriend's had a long ass fucking day, and she's about to pull in the driveway. I want to go try and make sure that I can unlock the door for her and bring her bags upstairs and watch an episode of True Blood with her. So I am out of here. 4HM Clothing, Strikeforce Energy, Manscaped.com. I'm sure I'm missing one, but whatever. Offer code adulting. Check out those sites and maybe try to help me make some money. Okay, that's it. Good night.